I originally got involved when I was back on a co-op board in the early 2000s. The Fagan Group came and spoke with us about value-added agriculture. Myself and another board member, Bill Kauser, started visiting some of the ethanol plants. They were in northern Iowa and southern Minnesota at that time. And we put a steering committee together and decided to raise some capital. And we felt that this would help improve the basis for corn in our local area. 2004, when we started raising capital, located here in central Iowa by Ames and Iowa State University, with the city of Ankeny and Des Moines so close, we decided to do an LLC to raise our capital. We raised about $53 million in 38 days. It was myself and 15 other board members went around the community, and our average investment was a minimum of $25,000 per individual. We had over 800 people that were willing to invest at that time. Our investor group is made up more local business community people and rural community people, because our plant is so close to a large metropolitan area that it's not just farmers. In fact, maybe 10% of our investors are farmers, with 90% being local people in the community, anywhere from people that work at our local John Deere dealership to our cooperatives to people that we all know in the community are investors in this ethanol plant. Really, since the ethanol industry grew, and with Lincoln Way here, more and more of those dollars stay local. So we employ within a 30-mile radius, and all those dollars of our employees stay locally in our community. The grain now used to all leave. As I mentioned, I was on our local co-op board. At that time, everybody was putting in unit loaders, and all the corn was leaving our community. Now the corn stays here in the community locally, and it's improved the right type of environment economically for people to raise livestock. So our dried distiller's grain, some of it's used here. Our corn oil gets processed and stays locally too. So the value is really a trickle-down type operation where all the co-products stay locally and the dollars stay here in our community. When Ron Fagan met with our co-op board back in 2003, I got excited, and I was looking forward to an opportunity like this as a farmer to be diversified and also something that we could bring value to the community. Since then, grain prices have been very strong, that we don't need the government programs like we did back during the set-aside acres, and where they would create different floors in there, and we'd have to go to our local FSA office and try and get a few cents here and there to get you up to $2 bushel corn. And today, we see a lot of volatility in grain prices, but today the farmers are stronger, the implement dealers are doing well, our local communities are strong because of this ethanol plant being here today. Beyond just our local community, we brought value throughout all the United States. Today, it's my understanding, almost 97% of all the fuel being sold has a 10% blend in it, and we're lowering the cost anywhere between 10 and 20 cents a gallon. Now with E15 coming along, from what I've seen at the pump, everyone will probably save about 20 cents a gallon. So there's value throughout all of our United States. Every state has value now, from being able to process our bushels of corn and produce a clean burning fuel that's safe for the environment. I believe we've hit a number of milestones since in the last 20 years since we closed our equity drive, raising our capital in September 30th of 2004. Raising the capital was a milestone, getting the plant up and operating in 2006, and now we've produced our billionth gallon of ethanol out of Lincoln Way Energy. Most recently, in the last couple years, we've crossed another threshold. We're with the Husker Ag organization. There are now 3 different ethanol plants under the same family umbrella. So we're producing collectively almost 250 million gallons under this organization. And I found economics of scale makes a difference. We've been really fortunate to join up with a good group of people, and we're stronger together with them. Over the last 2 decades, being part of this industry, some of the things that have surprised me are the value of the co-products. We originally put this industry together. I looked at ethanol and thinking ethanol was a key driver around profitability. What I've really learned is at different times, it's your co-products really that make such a difference. And corn oil is one of them. We've continued to put in different technologies to improve the amount of corn oil. Today, we're over £1 a bushel of corn oil that we're able to get, and that corn oil will be used in the future to make either renewable diesel or someday sustainable aviation fuel. I think this industry's gone through a number of different challenges, and one of the biggest problems is our ability to continue to grow the amount of ethanol that we can blend in a gallon of fuel. We've done so many testing, and we worked so hard to show that ethanol brings value. It's a higher octane level. It's actually a really good blend to add to your gasoline. And one of the biggest challenges I've seen over the last decade is just being able to continue to blend higher rates of ethanol. When it's a solid, it's a proven product, it brings value, it's a lower cost fuel, and it's been surprising to me how long it's taken to get to an E15 nationally. In the future, I see this industry going through another layer of growth, and it looks like sustainable aviation fuel. As we look to work with the airline industry, there's probably no other product like ethanol. We produce about 17 billion gallons a year of renewable biofuel, and I think it would be a great addition to blend it into the aviation fuel. I don't see any other opportunities for them in their industry to lower their carbon score. I grew up being diversified as a lot of people, livestock farmer. Now we're just raising grain as growing livestock has changed. So with the diversification for a lot of farmers in investing or delivering to an ethanol plant, the improved economics help bring the next generation in. Kind of stumbling around that. I'm a fifth generation farmer, and historically when next generations get in, you expand the livestock. It's always difficult to add acres, but with our investment in biofuels and the value creation that's came from this industry, it allows me to bring another generation in. And I feel in the future, it is so important to continue to grow and get this 45Z correct. That'll help me bring the next generation in with that increased value. We'll have to change our farming practices a little bit, but frankly, it's better to do that. And I don't think it's going to be that difficult if we have to add some different practices to our farming operation. It's going to be well worth the change, the amount of value that create and help me bring the next generation in. I think for me as a farmer and a person that got involved in the inception of this industry early on, one of the most proud things I've experienced is being able to help create and be part of an industry that provides a great business in local rural communities. We employ around 44 employees here. We have a really good, safe environment, and this industry's provided the amount of profitability that we can compensate, we can recruit, we can retain, and we can have valuable employees here that can work their way up and spend their whole life's career working at an industry like this. Our culture here is strong, and we're very fortunate to have good employees.